listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. Thanks for tuning in today for another episode. It is a delight to be playing with you on another law of attraction topic. In fact, there's one I've been thinking about lately that comes up fairly regularly whenever I hear a fellow creator trying to talk themselves into lower expectations about when they should start looking for results from their alignment work. They'll say something like, Jeanette, I know it's only been a week and a half, so I really shouldn't be looking for anything to have changed yet. And I'm like, I'll stop them right there. I'm like, yes, you should be expecting something to have changed by then, for sure. Hello. We're looking for immediate results. We're conscious creators. It doesn't take time. We're looking for immediate results. And here's what I think. If we're not getting immediate results, we're not doing it right. You know what? It's not what I think. This is a teaching straight from Abraham. I learned it from Abraham. I do think it. I just didn't come up with it. And some of you will have heard this before, but it's easy to forget the truth of it. So let me give an example. Let's say I'm manifesting. I want to be really careful about the hypothetical manifesting example I use, because just even giving it a half a minute of focused attention will activate the vibration of it, and then it's on its way whether I wanted it or not. So I'm not going to talk about marriage or pregnancy. Oh my gosh. You know what? My business partner, Lisa, in our coach training business, sometimes she and I would take turns being a client for our coaches to practice on. And Lisa refuses to do this anymore. And I love her for it because she had an experience where she pretended issues so well on this client session where she's being the client for, 45 minutes who's got these problems that this coach is working with. Okay, well, those problems started manifesting in her life like within the next handful of days. Okay, I'm sorry I'm laughing, Lisa. But that's how powerful our attention is. So I'm going to use a manifesting example that I wouldn't mind seeing happen in my world. All right, I just looked up at the clock. How about more time? That's a fun manifestation that I bet a lot of us would appreciate, right? Okay, so let's pretend we're manifesting an abundance of free time. Like having a free schedule to do whatever we please with, freedom to come and go as we like, and to wake up whenever we want and go to sleep whenever we like, and having the freedom to linger and to loiter and just slow down in general whenever we feel like it, because we have so much free time to do whatever we want to with. Okay, that feels pretty good, right? Yeah, that's my point. Okay, that's the immediate manifestation that we can expect. It's to feel better. That's the immediate result. And if we're not getting that one when we're engaging our alignment practice, then we're not dialing in like we think we are. What I mean by that is, if your alignment exercise isn't making you feel some sort of relief or better or good or happy or any kind of better, then you didn't plug in like you thought you did. For example, let's say I'm rampaging about my intention for an abundance of time. And I'm talking about how much I want this abundance of time so that I don't have to race everywhere. I'm so tired of being this busy. I want to actually be able to take a breath and maybe relax a little. Is that too much to ask? And that it'd be nice if I weren't so pressed to do all these things that need to be done, because if I don't do it, it is not happening. No one's going to do it for me. It'd be nice if I could get some relief, for goodness sake. Lord knows I've been busy my whole freaking adult life. I deserve a break. My health is demanding it. Okay, I don't want to go too far with that. But look, you and I know that last little rampage, that was not activating good vibrations for the most part, because I was mostly focused on what I don't want. Even though I might have been talking about, I thought a person could fool themselves into thinking they were talking about what they want, but they're still focused on, as Abraham would say, the other end of the stick. That's what I don't want. And you know how I know that that's what I was focused on? Because I didn't feel any better as I was thinking those thoughts. In fact, it kind of made me feel a little worse. You probably didn't like hearing it either. I apologize. But I'm making a point. You might have even felt like a little restricted or tight. Maybe your blood pressure even went up a little, like if you're really paying attention to how you feel. Okay, that's the immediate result of our focus. It's how we feel, and it is so worth paying attention to. How we feel as we engage our alignment work, whatever process or exercise or technique we're engaging. Because if we don't feel better in the process of doing that alignment exercise, we didn't actually activate what we thought we were activating. We certainly weren't activating anything we want more of. You know what? Some people do this with their Pray Rain journals. Like, they're making their entry because they're supposed to. That's how I learned it too. That's how they learned it from my ebook. That's how I learned it too. And I'll be honest, I made my share of those entries, the kind where you're just doing it to say you did, because the promise is that by the time you get to the end of the book, you will have what you want. That's how I learned that a Pray Rain journal works, and that's how I was working it, just grinning and bearing it through page after page, night after night, whether I was enjoying it or not. Not realizing that if I didn't enjoy writing out that page, then I didn't actually align to what I wanted. Abraham says the purpose of our alignment processes are to feel better now. It's not to make things happen. It's to feel better now. It's a vibration management technique. Feeling better is what alignment work is all about. Do I sound like I have a little attitude? I'm going to tone it down a little. But I want to make the point, yes, we can expect immediate results. By all means, we should be looking for them. And I don't use the should word lightly. But that's what we want to look for. Feeling better immediately. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's feeling better. That's what we wanted in this thing, free time or more love, or for those of you who are intending marriage or pregnancy, more power to you. Okay, the reason we want those things is because we think we'll be happier or feel some sort of better when we have that. Which means feeling better is what we were really after. That's our true target, because if you got married and you were miserable, you wouldn't feel like you got what you wanted, right? No, we want that, whatever we want it because we think that we're going to enjoy life more when we have it. So when we find a way to feel better now or to enjoy life more now, then you not only create fabulous alignment to what you want, but you actually got what you wanted because you're feeling better, you're enjoying life more now. That's the point of our manifesting exercises, and that is the first result to look for. And it's immediate. It's immediate. I think it's really cool how that works. So my point with this episode is to remind all of us to, yes, by all means, please expect immediate results. And those results are feeling better. I want to say that any sort of relief counts. You might not feel like full-on joy, but if you feel any sort of relief, any sort of better, that counts as a result. Like if I was worried about my job and I was trying to manifest more success and security at work, whether I was doing a visualization or an affirmation or acting as if or whatever my alignment process was, if it made me feel just even a little less anxious and a little bit more relief, that counts as a result. Okay, that's a sign you're on the right track. And the beautiful thing is that when we stay on that track, the next manifestation, it's likely to be some sort of an idea or an inspiration that comes to us. That's the next result that you can expect. And when we act on those, or we honor whatever our guidance is pointing us toward, pretty soon we're going to have the kinds of results that everyone else can see too. But in the beginning, you're the only one who's going to recognize those early results. So look for them, celebrate them, and by all means expect them. They do come fast, and it doesn't take long for them to grow into the real-life 3D successes that you might have had in mind when you started this work. So, bottom line, by all means, please expect immediate results. That's how the system works. This actually reminds me of another topic that I want to share about, but I'll save that for another episode. In the meantime, Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the reviews. And thank you for walking this conscious creation path with me. Together, we are rocking this place. Love you guys.